Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker news for you today. 3 pieces of news all rolled into one big video. I will say this straight from the top, shameless plug. I got brand new merch. Check out my Teespring account, well, Teespring store down below in the description box. I've got Joker-inspired merch. It is cheaper than any of the other merch I've released. There is a wider variety. There's leggings, there's socks, there's literally everything. You name it, it's there. I maxed out what Teespring can do. And yeah, check it out. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. I'm not one of these dumbasses that puts my face on a t-shirt. No one wants that. I think that's narcissism at its finest. I just want to provide you with some really, really cool designs. So that's a one-off special design which is created for me. So I think you guys will like it. Please do go and check it out. But look, shameless plug out the way. We're on this webpage, and yes, there is a dude with a really dumb looking face. That's what you get for auto-playing your videos. Don't do it. It's awful. But we are talking about Daisy Ridley's comments about Rey and Kylo and how the relationship has developed. We've also got some brief comments about Dark Rey. Now, I find these things funny to kind of go into because for the past 2 movies, we've been exploring this Kylo and Rey relationship, and it spawned this weird Reylo like fan base online that's very, very toxic, very, very strange, wanting them to get together. Very, very, very strange people. So these comments are interesting. She basically says that it's going to be a good and satisfying end to what they've been teasing. So she states, and I quote, "What's fun is what's been teased so far has confounded the fans, because when I'm in the desert, is he in the TIE fighter? What's going on? Am I running away? Am I running towards something? In the fight, we're fighting each other." So it kind of sounds like they are fighting each other, which it's not a surprise. We've seen them fight one another in the trailer already. And she also went on to say that it's, I think, a very satisfying story, because also, leaving The Last Jedi, I was like, oh, I guess we've mined that relationship. No, we've mined it some more, so they've gone even further, which, again, not a surprise. And her comments on Dark Rey were kind of interesting. She says, "It honestly felt really cool. It felt really cool. I think it was there were obviously conversations about how it looked like genuinely cool, and that people would want to be that version of Rey. However that may last, however long it lasts, wherever she needs, or wherever she ends up, but it felt really good." Now we know that's probably just going to be a vision anyway, so don't get your hopes up for all of that, ladies and gents. And then the other comments were about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker director J.J. Abrams talking about fans, which is strange. I mean, it's talking about angry fans. A very, very down the line political kind of answer here from JJ, and it really does go to show how they're in damage control mode. Everything needs to be spot on. I bet they're being briefed every second of every day by their PR management team, just trying to get everything out there as best they possibly can. Even comments from Kathleen Kennedy have given rise to this sort of discussion behind the scenes, I would say. So he says, and I quote, "You just have to be grateful for them, because you don't want to be working on something no one cares about. And you have to understand that they've got their opinions, and, of course, you have to value them. You're never going to please everyone. You have to know that going in and just do the best you can. I'm nothing but thankful as someone who considers myself a fan. I can't wait for them to see the film." Okay. Surprising. Very surprising. And then he also went on to make some comments about the fact that the previous movie didn't derail anything, which I've covered this already, but just as a brief recap, he says, "The story that we're telling, the story that we started to conceive when we did The Force Awakens, was allowed to continue. Episode 8 didn't really derail anything that we were thinking about." That's bollocks. We've heard that already, that they absolutely did, so that's total nonsense. But it's still interesting that he's addressing the whole concept of toxic, angry fandom. I don't disagree with his comments, actually. I think his comments are spot on. Wouldn't it be much better to work with something where the fan base is passionate? Yes, of course it would. But it's also, this is just true PR spin by Disney, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, the comments of like, oh, you know, I'm nothing but thankful, when we've got Rian Johnson sitting there on Twitter, literally just piping up whenever he must be searching for The Last Jedi on Twitter. Not hashtags or anything like that. He's popped up on people's tweets when they're just talking about The Last Jedi. He's a very strange man. He's got way too much time on his hands. And that's polar opposite, isn't it? Complete polar opposite. And I understand different directors would handle things differently, but this is the same company that has been saying things like, oh, we don't have to cater to fans, don't worry about it. Now you're saying, yeah, we obviously we can't please everyone, but I'm thankful for all of the fans anyway. What? Same as the Kathleen Kennedy comments recently, saying, I accept all criticism, I want all criticism, even, you know, even negative feedback, I want it all. No, you don't. You've gone on record and said it doesn't really matter, you don't care what anyone thinks. Like, do you genuinely think the internet forgets this stuff? I could just do a Google search and pull up your quote. You just look like a moron. So, I thought that was interesting. Then the last comments here. Again, this is the same thing. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker ending hasn't changed from J.J. Abrams' original plan. So it's just a bit of expansion on it. Because, of course, Abrams would have been asked whether what he wanted as the ending for the film, I guess because he initially kind of conceived the whole thing, but he didn't, has changed or not. So Abrams spoke with Marvelous TV when he was asked if the ending of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is still changing, just to see whether there's any alternate endings or whatever, which is a case with Disney properties. A lot of them do fake out endings and things in the script. But he says the ending is the ending. It's really been a bit unusual in that the editing process, much of what we have in the third act, is exactly what we always had. And that's not always the case. A lot of times you're like, the ending doesn't quite... That's not the thing that we've been playing with, Abrams explained. And this was at D23 Expo. So we're just slowly getting more and more bits of information, just dropping like flies. And he says, if I had not decided on that, I'd be in real trouble. Now, this was to do with final sequence of the film, indicating that the ending of the Skywalker saga could be one of the most important aspects of the century, apparently. So he says, if I had not decided on that, I'd be in real trouble. But it was a very early on thing, and it's less the last shot of the movie than the last sequence. But it's something that I hope you will like. Of course he hopes you will like it. What fool would hope that no one enjoys the ending of their film? So, look. Rounded off. Kylo Ren and Rey relationship being teased even further, which is fine. It's to be expected. We knew there was going to be more stuff coming out surrounding all of that. The comments about J.J. Abrams, you know, enjoying the fact that, you know, angry fans and all this kind of nonsense. Whatever. You're talking out your bum. Like, we've heard the complete opposite from all of you before. It just goes to show that they think all of us are just idiots. The internet doesn't forget, guys. Come on. And then last but not least, the whole thing about the ending. Good that they haven't changed it. But then you got to remember they didn't have an awful lot of time to write this movie anyway. So how could they have changed it? Because this was kind of a rush job. I mean, it wasn't a rush job, but it certainly wasn't the length of time he had for The Force Awakens. So they couldn't have changed it anyway, unless they pushed the movie back, which Disney was not willing to do. That's why they went to J.J. Abrams, because they suspected they would be able to get him to finish the whole thing within time and release it on time. Because obviously J.J. Abrams was never intending to come back to do this movie. So there you go. There's the news. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Again, another shameless plug. If you like what I'm doing here and you want to support the channel further, please do check out my Patreon. There's a link down below in the description box. Also, hit subscribe, give this video a like, and really do please share it. Sharing and liking videos is probably the best way you can support the channel, actually. It really does help me out an awful lot. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been Mr. H. Take care.